Good day, as we say in Australia. I'm E.T. and we're lucky, as we say in Australia, we're lucky we can talk about anything we like, and we're free to say anything we like and make jokes about anything we like. Today I'll tell you a little story about dementia. Dementias can be a problem and then it might not be a problem. See, sometimes I have dementia and I keep forgetting which woman is my wife. Can be a bit of a problem, and sometimes some women around here, they forget which husband is theirs. But it makes for a very exciting sort of a life until recently a big sort of a bloke, he come and pushed me on the shoulder. He said, "Hey, you." I said, "What?" He said, "You're a right lady's vagina, you are." I said, "That's a bit much, isn't it?" He said, you are your father," and this, I thought this was outrageous. He said, "Your father was a bikie gang." Well, I said to him, that's ridiculous. My father was a local AFL team, local football team. I said, and two are on the council, and one's in politics, and I've got their pictures on the wall. I said, I'm very proud of my fathers. What's wrong with you? My mother chose well. They're very fit young men. Anyway, I had to sort of leave town for a bit because things were a bit heated about that, about my dementia and forgetting which woman was my wife. Also, the thing about if your wife has got dementia, well, there are disadvantages and advantages about it. You can say to her, if she's sitting there watching the TV, she can watch the same TV show over and over and over again, and it doesn't matter. She enjoys it the same every time. Her life is very simple. You don't worry about the history of the world or anything like that. Nothing's getting her down anymore. You're happy in bliss. You can say to her, "Excuse me, darling, I'm just going down the street for a loaf of bread and some milk," and then you can leave a note on the table, on the kitchen table, for the daughter-in-law comes round every day to see if her mum's okay, that you're going for a walk for an hour or two and a beer, which is fine. Then the thing is, you can get lost and go to Thailand for a week, have a good time in Thailand, come back and bring the loaf and the milk, say, "Excuse me, love," she's still sitting there watching television. Right, she's still sitting there. "Would you like a cheese and tomato sandwich?" Which people with dementia eat a lot of cheese and tomato sandwiches. I watched my mother, that's what she ate most of. Cheese and tomato sandwiches. And she didn't know it was the same food every day. "Oh, this is exciting, a new sandwich." But when I sort of escaped the town for a bit, and I went to Melbourne, and Melbourne's a very strange place. It used to be full of Greeks, now it's full of Chinese, which is great. I don't know if one's better, which is the best food, Greek food or Chinese. Well, Chinese is a lot more popular anyway, especially in China. You don't see many Greek food shops in China, so one assumed, but you see a few Chinese food shops in Greece. So, we can vote by our favourites. Favourite is Chinese food, but I noticed a lot of homeless men in Melbourne. Also in Melbourne, if you go to the airport, it says, and there's a big sign at the airport, and maybe it's a Catholic town, I don't know, but it says, a big sign says unlimited access to kids and TV and movies. And I thought that's a bit strange, that was, unlimited access to kids. What the hell's going on there? But these days and age, you think that would be sort of on the nose, but never mind, it's so strange. Well, we're entering into new times where anything's possible. Anyway, on the streets and also in Melbourne, there's big signs saying, "Do you want longer lasting sex?" which is a bit rude to everyone who hasn't had sex for a couple of months or 6 months, saying, "Crikey, you bastard, I want any sex will do, longer lasting or not, who cares?" And then on television it says in Melbourne, "Do you want longer lasting sex?" I thought, well, what's going on here? But in the streets of Melbourne there are lots and lots of men, young men as well, robust young men, living in the streets. And I realised what their problem was. Their problem was they never took this stuff. They're in a competition for blokes who can do it longest, and the blokes who take this longer lasting sex material, whatever it is, medicine, they're keeping their women, and the ones who aren't keeping up, you know, for more than 30 seconds or whatever it is, they're on the fucking streets. And if they bought some of this stuff, or if the government distributed fairly some Viagra and this stuff what says you can have longer lasting sex, maybe these guys could soon, bit of wash up and shave and clean up, could find themselves a nice lady to cook a meal for them and cuddle up at night. Because it could satisfy a lady a bit more. Anyway, the longer lasting sex thing, I thought, well, God, I better try this stuff, see what it's like. Because, you know, all men have got a problem occasionally, and it works quite well actually, but the trouble is you get really sore wrists. Thank you. This is E.T. in Australia.